Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrivateTrade.com. Let's be honest, I'm 29 years old, so if you're in and around my age, you have not had an opportunity to say this a ton of times, unless maybe you play NFL Madden on your Xbox or PlayStation. The Lions defeat the Packers. It was a very good game. The defense stood out, and at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers, who had this impeccable record against us, was rattled. So we're going to get right into it. Why we won. If I could sum this up in one word, it's going to be resiliency. Now, already coming into the game, a ton of injuries to our secondary. You got guys, Danny Gore coming off the streets, Mohamed Cisse, who's on the practice squad, no NFL action this year. And these guys held the fort down. Darius Slay was stout. Is he going to be a good cornerback? Is he going to be another bust? Well, so far this year, he's been very solid. Lined up against statistically the best receiver so far this year in Jordy Nelson, and he held his own. Then, during the game, you have more injuries. It's the Nate Burleson injury award this year is going to go to Stephen Tulloch, celebrating with the discount double check sack celebration. He hurts his knee. Hopefully it's not too serious. Then it's the curse of the nickelback. No, not the group, but our nickelback. Bill Bentley, first game, down. Nevin Lawson down. Don Carey, we know hamstrings linger. One play, one great play, and then he's gone. Well, what do? It's the next man up. We were resilient. The run game, not working. Resiliency, it finally cracked at the most opportune moment. And so we know what the defense did. And you can say what you want about Stafford's 2 interceptions. I can defend them. Maybe you don't want to. But he was clutch down the end, making big passes when necessary. Golden tape looking good. The team was resilient. The defense was ferocious. This is the only way you can beat Aaron Rodgers. You have to rattle the cage. You have to make him uncomfortable. And that's just what we did. Okay, we're going to move on to call-outs and shout-outs. First, it's with our call-outs, the guys that are not doing that good, so we must call them out. I hate to do this, but the Febreze for Freeze campaign continues. Spray some Febreze on Freeze because he stinks. Missing a 40-yarder, should have got it. His career is probably over. Whether you feel sorry for him or not, fortunately, we won the game in spite of him. We can't keep going week in and week out with the same guy. In a sad and strange turn of events, the guy that probably would have replaced him, Rob Baronis, dies in a car accident. And it's not about football. It's just a sad turn of events for his family and friends. But back to Freeze, do you practice squad a kicker? I don't know. But talking about the current roster and this team, he's just too costly. Can't count on him. So he's gone. Next man up. Also for call-outs, hopefully we don't see him starting again, is Mr. Reynolds, your right tackle, who was horrible. Julius Peppers coming in at will. Everybody coming in at will. Second week in a row, we bring in Cornelius Lucas, young guy, rookie, undrafted free agent. He looked a lot better. But Mr. Reynolds, hopefully we don't have to see much more of you. We know it's because of injuries to Hilliard, injuries to Waddle. Hopefully Waddle returns soon. Now for shout-outs, there's a lot of guys we can give this to. And I can't single out one guy. Again, it's the defensive line, the defensive tackle specifically, and Ndamukong Suh with the sack, Nick Fraley with the forced fumble, continual pressure from both of these guys. They deserve all the credit. And then I'm going to give the other shout out to the 2 coordinators. On the offensive side is Mr. Lombardi. On the defensive side is Mr. Terrell Austin. These guys had a great game plan. Lombardi not giving up, keeping with the run game. Eventually it cracked. And then the one play that did work for the run game was Reggie Bush on the outside. Reggie Bush runs a lot more north and south now, but we need to incorporate more sweeps and more tosses to him because he still has that burner speed, which he showed. And then Terrell Austin scheming this thing perfectly, constant pressure, bringing in guys off the street, and we hold the Green Bay Packers, this prolific offense, to 7 points. Both of these guys definitely deserve a much-needed shout-out because in years past, there was a lot of complaining about our coordinators, about Linehan, about Cunningham. Maybe these guys will be getting some shout-outs down the line, not just this week, but in the weeks to continue. On to the play of the game. Now, last week, it was just one play that could have been considered the play of the game because there were so many mishaps, miscues. This week, there are a few more candidates. It's so close, Don Carey. I want to give it to you. You really set the tone with that fumble recovery, 40 yards for the touchdown, but I am going to give it to Mr. Reggie Bush. I know it had to feel good for him. Off to a slow start, kind of struggling the first 2 games, not really making an impact. To break free, to break wide. This is why we brought you in. And it was the deal sealer. That was it. That 26-yard touchdown sealed the fate for the Packers, puts us up 2 scores, and it showed why we brought him in. And yes, he still has it. On to our extra points. This is a huge win, but we're always looking forward to the future. At this point, we're 2-1. Packers 1-2. Vikings 1-2. You got the Bears going to play on Monday night. Got to get early wins. Got to defeat the NFC North when you can. And you have to defend your home turf. When I made my prediction of 11-5, it was predicated on the Lions going 7-1 at home. That's big. Got to win these games. So, and we're looking forward to the schedule now. There's a lot of exciting things. We're going to talk about the Jets later this week. But if you can rattle the cage of Aaron Rodgers, just imagine what you can do with the turnover machine and Geno Smith. Then after that, you've got Buffalo at home. You know, that's a winnable game. You got the Vikings who are really struggling on offense, although their defenses look pretty good. I mean, things are looking good. Guaranteed loss against New England on the road? Not anymore. New Orleans looking invincible? Not anymore. So, you know, it's a great win. We have to keep this momentum going. We have to build on this. I think our offense is still learning Lombardi's system. A little slow, a little sluggish. I think the main culprit, though, is the right tackle situation, if we can get that fixed. So we have some work to do. We have to figure out if it's going to be Cornelius Lucas. We have to look at options at the tackle position. We have to figure out what we're going to do for the nickelback. You know, if Tug's going to be gone for a while, we have to figure that out. Just roll with Whitehead, and who's going to be the other outside linebacker? Roll with Ashley Palmer, and then, yes, the kicker. So this week should be interesting. We're going to be hearing a lot about injuries, probably some player signings, some player releases, freeze, and it's going to be a lot to look forward to. But it's always a good week when it's coming after a win, especially against the NFC North, especially against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. So I'm out of here. Give me your thoughts of the game, your play of the game, your call-outs, your shout-outs. What do you want to see heading into next week against the Jets at JetLife Stadium? I know it's MetLife, but JetLife sounds really cool. All right, guys. Until next time, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. This has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrivateDetroit.com.